do you think about these groups on campus? I mean, part of the reason for them being turned down at Ryerson was that they would make women nervous.
Yeah, it would make me nervous. If I'm a woman that goes to a university and there's a men's rights group that's right next door, of course that would make me nervous. I do agree that obviously they're trying to get attention and they want to be, I guess, validated or invalidated, and then they get to feed off of that. But I don't think that they should exist.
But why would it make you afraid?
Because I think a lot of the men's rights movement is actually a response to anxiety about women doing better.
So why have we got this woman on this panel? Like, if that's her view on men's rights, that it's just anxiety, or it's a response to anxiety about women doing better, like, she's obviously not understood any of the issues. She obviously didn't even listen to the introduction there. Men's rights groups got nothing to do with women. It's about men's rights. And she says it would make her feel threatened or uncomfortable on campus if there was a men's rights group right next door. How does that work? It's not like they're the Taliban, you know, and the feminists are calling for the death of men. How does that not make her anxious on campus? I mean, we just heard Toronto University was a feminist campus. So, I mean, that, if you're a man on that campus, you'd be fearful for your life, understandably. But the men's rights activists aren't calling for the death of all women. That's feminism. I've got a video on that if you want to go and have a look at it, and it's in their own fucking words. It's exactly what they want. So how, like, this woman has obviously got no idea what she's talking about at all. Like, she might as well not contribute to this conversation. And yet here she is on the panel. Now, why? They are, like, they've invited her onto that panel knowing her view. Right? She just wasn't picked up off the street. So the view of the whole mainstream TV show here is shut men down. And they've got two panellists there that are shutting this one man down who's asking the question, why can't we have a men's rights group on campus? And it's just to whack this mole down, you know. MGTOW. Right, that's the only answer. You just got to turn your back on it and walk off, and it's beautiful. Once you've got this shit out of your head, you have a beautiful life. Like, it's fantastic. But anyway, let's plow on.
And you see this with men's rights groups and men's rights activists who claim that women falsify rape claims all the time, which is not remotely true. And it's a direct response to women speaking up and having a voice and talking. And you see that with posters that say, you know, don't be that guy, and they've changed it to don't be that girl. And now, again, the onus is on women.
Yeah, so I ask again, why is this woman on this panel? She has nothing to contribute. She just constructed a straw man very quickly there and knocked it down. And, you know, why is don't be that guy not putting everything on, like the onus on men, and opposed to saying don't be that girl, putting the onus all back on women? Why is it? Well, like, she would be the first to claim that feminism is about equality, and what could be more equal than that? And why the hell wasn't both of those statements put on the same poster, for fuck's sake? You know, like, if that was what it was about, allegations, like rape allegations is what they're talking about, why can't it be recognised that women make false rape allegations and men have sex that women regret later on? You know, I mean, that's what those posters are about. They're not about raping some woman in an alley at knife point or anything like that. It's about, you know, consensual sex while both parties are intoxicated. That's the man's fault. So, I mean, there are lots of issues around men's issues. There's lots of issues around men's issues. Men have got a lot to say. about this, they're not allowed to. It's all got to be coming from the feminist viewpoint. And, you know, I can't live in a world like that. I don't know about the rest of the men, but I can't live like that. And I don't. I choose not to.
I'm hearing a lot of projection here, saying, oh, well, you know, what your group really wants is this bad thing. When I pass a feminist group or a group of trans activists, I don't say, you know, what you really want is some negative thing I'm projecting on you. Let them organize. Let them be like any other group and let them have their say, and then we can decide whether what they say...
But their say has been bad.
Bad. Look, by the way, when I was younger, way back in the 1990s, way back in the 1990s, there was genuine concern about safety on campus, especially for women. I went to McGill, and there was a lot of violence in the McGill ghetto, which is where a lot of students lived. And people organized. There was walk safe programs because it was a safety issue. People were actually being battered and, in some cases, assaulted.
I think that's different now.
Yeah, it's not any different.
So, of course, that's something that's needed. But what's happened is we've dilated the definition of the word safety. So now safety isn't just about protecting people from being hit or raped. Safety is about protecting people from ideological viewpoint that they find objectionable. And that is a perversion of the word safety.
Safety is feeling like you can go out to a party at your university campus, and if, God forbid, something terrible happens, you're not going to be disbelieved the next morning.
And protecting you from trolls, apparently. Trolls online because who have views you don't like.
No, again,
that's also
that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is these groups want attention for the sake of having attention.
How do you know what they want? Are you a member of this group? They're saying we want to raise these issues, and you're saying that's a bad... That's the word you use. Oh, that's a bad issue.
This is the list of what they say are their issues. This is the Canadian Association for Equality, and their guidelines are followed by a lot of these campus groups. Boys, crises issues like education, bullying, suicide, which we've seen is up among older men. Men's health issues, family law, custody is an issue, probably not when you're 20, but later. Legal biases against men and social media misandry, hatred.
But Wendy, as we know, they're just trying to get attention for these issues, which is a bad thing. And by the way, on campus...
Yeah, so there's a laundry list of issues there. And the woman's reaction to it, trying not to laugh so hard. You know, swap the issues around to feminist issues, and a man sitting at the table laughing like that. That would make the news for about a week. You know, it'd be proof of patriarchy and misandry and, misogyny and all the rest of it. You know, like I say, why is she even on this panel?
It is completely true that for decades we did not take the problem of sexual assault seriously. That is absolutely true. Now, what you do sometimes see is you have a due process problem. You see this in the United States. There's 50 cases going through the courts in the United States where men have gone to the courts because they couldn't get what they consider to be due process on campus. They're saying,
but that's not actually what these groups are about.
Well, that is one of the issues they have explicitly raised.
Yes, so, but those issues, I mean, for example, the men's health issue, right? Men don't take care of themselves.
This clown, men's health issues, it's because men don't take care of themselves. What about the fucking health system? What do you pay your health insurance for? What? Like, men have just got to take care of themselves? Not allowed to access, like, doctors and specialists and all the rest of it? It's just got to be done, take care of yourself? The guy's clearly a moron. Like, how did he get a law degree? Well, that's a silly question, isn't it?
There are mental health challenges that are more pronounced in men than in women. These are real issues. The issue of making sure that there's a process on campus so we don't brand people as rapists unless they've had a chance to defend themselves against those sorts of allegations. Those aren't bad things. But when you lump them in with this agenda that aims to expose some liberal bias, the same sort of people that say, the mainstream media are a bunch of liberals, that is doing a disservice to these issues that I agree with John are important.
I don't understand your viewpoint. You're saying, well, this issue is good, this issue is good, this issue is good, but they have this political bias on the current state of ideology that you object to, so they don't deserve the same recognition as 100 other groups. That makes no sense.
What is the argument that these groups are really about stopping the battle against sexual assault?
What is the argument saying?
Yeah, what's the proof of that? That's what these groups are into?
Listen, I mean, you can go online and you can have 1,000 men send you a note as a woman that they would like to kill you. When I go outside, I get men stop me and ask me why I'm not smiling.
Oh my God. Men have got to lift their standards, man. I mean, Why the fuck would you want to talk to a land whale like that? Ask her why she's not smiling. Oh, fuck's sake. Men have got to really, like, honestly, you've got to lift your standards. You don't talk to assholes like this. And I doubt she's ever had 1,000 replies to anything she's put online. And the other thing is, like, this idea that whenever women go online, they're attacked because they're women. What about attacking them because they've got stupid ideas? Like, you know, honestly, like, why can't a man have an opinion about what a woman says and it's not based on her gender? It's based solely on what she has just said. Why can't that be taken into account? Why is it that just because a woman gets some bad press or some nasty comments online, and it, like, men get it as well, it's like it's not just women that get it, but why does it always have to be about their gender? Why can't it be about what they've said or how they're thinking, or, you know, like taking them seriously as adults and saying what you've just said is a load of rubbish? Why can't that be? Why does it have to be about their ovaries and their vaginas? You know, and if you point that out to them, of course, that's misogyny. So, I mean, I just, like, MGTOW is, honest, I keep saying it, but for God's sake, men, lift your standards, don't talk to these fucking women, and get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of that Western bloody rot. It's rot. And I'm not talking about left and right politics. I'm just saying the whole lot is rot. I mean, you've got to have rocks in your head if you think left and right actually exist. It's about the corporations and the lobby groups, right? Throughout Western democracies now, it's got nothing to do with who you vote for. It's all exactly the same, no matter who you vote for. Sometimes the economy is handled better than other times. The rest of it, the big corporations get exactly what they want. And make no mistake about it, I've seen it in action. I used to work for the media. You know, before one of the elections, the big boss of the corporation I used to work for, not naming it, he got both sides of politics into his country estate, and he was interested in cross-owner mediaship law changes. So if he was to own a newspaper, he wanted to be able to own a radio station or a TV station or whatever. And at the time that was illegal because they wanted diversity of thought in Australia. And he got the fucking relevant politicians in one place, and he said the election's coming up. You know, if you want to win it, you promise that you're going to change these cross-owner media laws. And the person he backed won, and the laws were changed within 12 months of that election. So make no mistake, the corporations run the democracies of the world. Make no mistake about it.
This is happening all over the place. And obviously there are a lot of issues that are happening with boys and with men, but I think those are issues that have way more complexity than just this issue. Like the issue of men having higher suicide rates, I think that actually speaks to how mental health is stigmatized, how men feel like they can't ask for help. I think that's actually an issue of how modern masculinity affects men negatively.
All right, so let's assume that what you've just said has got any validity at all. Why can't men get together in groups to discuss these issues amongst themselves? Answer the question. That's what the topic is. It's not about all the complexity of the issue. The question is, why is it not allowed for men to organise groups in which they themselves can discuss these issues? Simple.
But I feel like this movement in particular is a direct response to having anxiety about women having something to say.
I think it's fair to say that there's something oppositional here. This is to answer John's question. It's not just about saying that men need more attention paid to their mental health issues, or men need more attention paid to the challenges that boys have in our education system. It's the fact that women are the problem, that women's equality is an issue, and that directing these men's issues as some kind of response, as women cannot gain because then men lose. Yeah. That's what I think is intellectually disingenuous.
Are you telling me that a campus group has been created that's oppositional in nature? That students are oppositional in nature, that they're actually being militant and feisty, and that they're going against established ideologies? That's a scandal. Because when I went to school, all of the groups conformed entirely to the dominant ideology. Okay. So I think you've identified a real scandal here.
Now you're making a straw man argument. I'm not saying that these
because
groups should
everything you've said is ridiculous.
No, because